Hello, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to join us for this webinar. My name is Mark, and I'll be sharing with you today about RemoteWinBox, Admiral, and how we're helping customers and what's new with our service. So if you're new to RemoteWinBox and wondering what we do, anyone with a MikroTik can simply go to RemoteWinBox.com, create a free account, click the activation link, and begin managing their routers in the cloud in just a few seconds by copying and pasting a simple script. Our easy-to-use dashboard has an intuitive interface with multiple layers of security. There are two subscription levels in RemoteWinBox. The 50 cents per router per month provides WinBox access that works through LTE and NAT and provides real-time health information. Our premium subscription is $2 per router per month and unlocks all of our features, including automated backups, configuration management, disaster recovery, fleet firmware updates, bulk configuration pushes, troubleshooting tools, and historical statistics. There are no minimums, contracts, or long-term commitments, and your first router is on us. So we've also got an on-premise and dedicated cloud solution that we call Admiral. So Admiral is our MikroTik fleet management solution that has the same benefits as RemoteWinBox and shares the same code base, but it's dedicated and isolated for your company. With Admiral, we can host your appliance in our data center, or we can ship you a pre-configured 1U appliance for your data center. We've also got an option that allows you to bring your own hypervisor so that you can leverage your own existing VM infrastructure. So Admiral is an affordable solution for larger ISPs and MSPs that are looking to add secure automation and orchestration for hundreds or thousands of MikroTiks. So the incredible team at RemoteWinBox also offers custom development and integration. One of the benefits of Admiral is that our team of MikroTik experts and full-stack developers can provide customized MikroTik software solutions. And that could be anything from buttons that generate automatic reporting to an IPTV diagnostics and troubleshooting tool for your MikroTik fleet. In other cases, we've assisted with network monitoring solutions or syslog implementations. If you have an idea and would like a quote, get in touch with our sales team by emailing us at sales@remotewinbox.com. So now let's talk about the meat of this conversation, where we talk about what's new in our dashboard. We've got a lot of dashboard updates to share with you today, and I'll highlight these as we take a look in the RemoteWinBox dashboard in just a minute. But first, there's a huge update for premium subscribers, where we combined the live view and historical view for router health. We significantly cleaned up and enhanced the user interface and made things much more consistent to the look and feel of our dashboard refresh. Look for us to continue that refresh in the coming weeks for other pages like Fleet Commander and backups. Another massive update is the newest beta feature that we're calling the first phase of AutoProvisioning, which is a generic configuration template that you can add to any number of MikroTiks. So you just make it a part of your baseline config or RSC. We call it phase 1 because we plan to continue to work on these phases, and the goal is to be able to plug your router in and it'll automatically do a lookup to your billing platform by either MAC or serial number, and then apply the correct provisioning template. We think this is going to be incredibly useful to deploy MikroTiks quickly. Other updates to our dashboard include enhanced searchability, so you can look for stuff based on IP address, serial number, MAC, model, and a hover tooltip that shows all that information, as well as alerting on security notices and other small UI updates that make our dashboard more intuitive and easier to use. So let's take a look at the dashboard and see what's new. So once we log in here, right off the bat, you can see that we've got some alert colorization that's happening here. And we're going to start using this alerts section to notify you when updates have been made. And so you'll see a blue icon, blue border surrounding updates here, and those will time out automatically over time as the update ages out. But also, priority events are going to start to be color-coded so that you've got an idea of important events versus maybe some things that are more informational. Let's take a look at router list here. And a couple of new things here are that the Open Now button has moved so that it's no longer on the router live view health. So a couple of things had to move in order to make space for things to be combined. So the Open Now button has moved from being at the bottom of the live view page to being right here on the main dashboard. So if you're on CGNAT or using your mobile device and you need to quickly get Open Now to get open for your MikroTik so that you can get punched through that CGNAT, that button's right here on the main dashboard now. In addition, if you've added notes to your MikroTik, the notes are going to be hoverable here as well. We can take a look here and see model, MAC, and some IP address information. And all of that information is now searchable up here in the Omni search bar. Other things that have changed here are that the end user view has been moved over here to an icon right here on the dashboard. So if we click on the end user view, it takes us to that end user invite screen, and the end user link is available here on this page. So now what used to be the real-time view is this icon here, and now takes us to the router health. So if I click on that, it's going to open that router specifically to the router health page. And what's different here now is that this looks like the same historical view that you're probably used to seeing. But if I click on live view now, this is going to start polling this router for the real-time health information and data. And so now that's going to start getting drawn here on a combined page rather than being its own dedicated page. And so that combined view is going to help us have a better consistency in the look and feel of the dashboard. So if I click more info here, you still got access to the info that you were looking for before. And if you've got LTE devices, those are going to show up here also. Other updates here are that if we pick a device here, we can see more info about his IP, CCQ scores, some other info is available here. And same as before, we can click on day, week, and month. And then in addition, if we head back to historical view here, the day, week, and month has been combined. So rather than having separate day, week, and month per chart here, those all now are bounded together so that you've got an easier way to look at the overall health of this router historically. Another quick update that we think is really helpful is on your favorite router. We've now got a little line bar that helps you determine instant in time. So if I want to look specifically at what's this peak look like, I can easily see that by jumping in and seeing on this section over here that we were at 14 megs of bandwidth. Taking a look here, some other updates. After the dashboard refresh, the CPU, RAM, and disk were not sortable for a brief time. So now if I want to see who's the highest CPU, this is now sortable again. And I can take a look at sorting by these values. Take a look at my notes here. So Fleet Commander has had some updates. Fleet Commander, if you have some saved jobs, those can now be deleted. So if you're getting some saved jobs that are coming in here and you decide you need to clean some of those up, you can now delete those. And then I guess one of the other new items is a beta feature. So we talked a little bit about that template config that's generic. So up until now, you've had to go into the add router functionality here. And every time you add a router, you get a brand new config that's unique and meant for one router only. So you couldn't deploy this to 100 routers, it's just for one at a time. If you wanted to deploy to 100 routers, you would have to do that by clicking this button 100 times and individually copy pasting those scripts to 100 routers. So the new beta feature here is default configuration, which is a generic template config. So this is for your company. This is one config that if I copy and paste this to a router, what will happen is that it will connect to our Bootstrap server, do some database lookups, and then send it over to your dashboard. So if we look in router listing here, what'll happen is that at the bottom of your listing, you'll have a new unprovisioned router show up within 2 or 3 minutes. We'll have discovered it, It'll show it as online. It says it's an unprovisioned router. And then you can go ahead and edit its name and do any other configuration changes that you'd like to do with it. And so the use case here is that if you've got a batch order of routers and you need to configure them, you can now add this config script just to your template. And then as soon as that router comes online and is deployed at a customer's home or on the network somewhere, it's automatically going to pop into the dashboard and be ready for use. So I think that is all of what's new. I guess we can take questions. I've got Mario on hand to read me any questions that anybody has.
Yeah, Mark, we actually have a few questions that we pulled out of the emails that we received in the past few days. And one of them was, how does auto provisioning work? But you kind of just talked us through the process, but I'd piggyback another question on top of this one. And that would be, is there any difference in auto provisioning, between cloud customers and Admiral customers? Could you speak about that a little bit?
Sure, yeah. So auto provisioning is a little bit different for cloud customers and Admiral customers on the back end. From the front end perspective, it's going to look the same. You're going to go click on that beta feature, go look at your default and this will create a unique set of config directives that are for your configuration, for your deployment. Behind the scenes, we've obviously got to have the resources available that allow for this automation to occur. And so that actually lives on your Admiral. So this feature is currently live on our cloud infrastructure, and it is not quite ready yet to go on to the Admirals. Admirals are going to come in the next week or so that we've got all of the infrastructure in place on Admirals so that this is usable for those customers too.
Cool. Next question that was kind of pulled out of the emails too was also auto provisioning related. And it says, can you pull Sonar info into auto provisioning, which I'm assuming to automatically kind of assign some data out of Sonar to the routers?
Yeah, so we've got a many-phased approach here on what we're calling auto provisioning. And so right now we're on this generic template config phase, but long-term what we'd like to have happen is that you just plug in a router somewhere on the network, and as long as it has access and talks back to our service, we do a lookup, find that MAC address or serial number in your billing system like Sonar, then that will allow us to query Sonar also for a provisioning template and maybe bandwidth settings, SSID, passphrase, all of that stuff could be stored in a data warehouse there in the billing platform. We take some of that data back, massage it for whatever we need to deploy to MikroTik, and then we can apply service templates, which could be, again, a bandwidth shaping, setting up the SSID and passphrase, adding it to the dashboard here with the correct name. So rather than coming in as an unprovisioned router, it would come in with the customer's name that's been assigned in the billing platform. So a whole bunch of automations are going to continue to be worked on here as we progress the auto provisioning functionality.
Nice. We have one question left here that is on a little bit different topic. Speaking of dashboard, how can I change the favorite router on the front dashboard?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I didn't talk about the icon here, but you'll see a little star for your favorite router. So if I wanted to change that, let's say I want to make this CCR being my new favorite router. So I'll just come over here to edit this router, and then we can jump down here to the slider for favorite. Currently, we only allow one router to be the favorite. What we intend to do, and I'll just hit update here, and right away, if I go to the dashboard, I'll now have a new favorite router with new display here on what his historical stats look like. So Today, it's going to be one router. In the future, we expect to have a handful of favorites, and what'll probably happen is that every minute, you'll notice that certain parts of this page refresh every 1 minute or every 5 minutes. We want to have this panel refresh periodically and scroll through your different favorites. Well, thanks everybody for taking the time to join us today. If you do have any further questions or want to get in touch, my email is marc@remotewinbox.com. And obviously you can visit our website at remotewinbox.com. We've got tons of videos on our progress here and what we've been working on in the YouTube. And if you want to follow us on Facebook or Twitter, you can see what our updates are as we continue to evolve the product. So I appreciate everyone for joining us today. Thanks a lot and have a great day.